Hello, 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 my friends. Welcome for a second annual ever Moji exclusive Q&A. I'm here with my main man, Tony Teflon. It's about to get on. People, Tony, converse.
Hey, yeah, what's the deal, my people? You know what it is, the Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one, and I'm happy to be with my man Moji's second ever show. You know the Don, I don't be on a lot of people's channels. You know, I don't be jumping it off like that. I don't go from dancing here and there. But my man Mo, you know, I got no choice but to show this man some love. He's showing me love all the time, so definitely am happy to be here. What up to all the people up in the chat chilling here? Thanks for coming out here and supporting my man. Well, let's get this going, man.
Oh my goodness. D&D did it again. Did it again. I'm so happy they did this. This show has so many twists and turns. I started watching this show season 2. Season 1, I had flipped through it back and forth here and there, but I didn't feel it yet. Season 2 is when I felt it, Tony. Let's go back. Let's feel young again. When did you start watching the show?
I watched this show from day one. You know what I mean? I watched it from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, my man that hit me with these books, he hit me with the Game of Thrones book. I read that, and I forgot all about it. And when I was watching the show, I had no idea that I was watching the show, the book that I had already read. So until I had gotten to the Ned Stark scene near the end, and that's when it all clicked into me. Like, I read this motherfucker. This is what this shit was, you know what I mean? And that's when I was, but I've watched the show from the jump. And then but I had read the books. I read that book and started the other one, and then I shot through all of the books after that.
This show has just blown up. It's I don't know what it is. It's in the cultural psyche at this point. Okay, no show has ever spent this type of money. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars an episode. When you're talking about they spending as much as the Titanic, when that is your elevation level, you know you got something special here.
Yeah, this show, this episode specifically, you know what I mean, was just a crazy episode to me. You know what I mean? Just shows you the reason why you watch Game of Thrones and everything else. It's just phenomenal episode, phenomenal show. Praise to the director of this episode and the writers and the stuntmen and the damn horse mistress. You know, the horse mistress. It's because your name is the horse mistress. I got to give you some props. And now when I look at the horses, you know, especially race horses and the hats that they be putting on them, it looks a little freaky, you know, and they do be getting balls in their mouth and everything else. So horse mistress does fit the bill.
Yep, shout out to the little nerdy dudes in the computer rooms that give us the little details, the little CGI that we take for granted. Shout out to the little guys.
Yeah, the editors, straight the fuck up. Listen, anyone who watches, anyone who does anything on YouTube, and anyone who does anything on YouTube knows the process of editing. And just imagine what they have to go through and everything. It's just a tedious job that takes an extreme amount of patience and tolerance, and it's frustrating as motherfucking hell. Trust me.
Oh man, YouTube editing, a whole nother level. Television show editing, I can't even imagine. Some videos take me 3 days, son. 3 days.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, and I think that Smoke Serene has a channel, a behind the scenes channel. Him and Vale, that you can watch him put together their videos of how they do it, and just watch what it takes to do it. And it's a 5-minute video. See how long it takes to do a 5-minute video.
Wow, I didn't know they had a behind the scenes. I got to check that out. Good looks, good shout out on that.
No doubt.
Cool. Well, it is that time, folks. We got the episode we wanted. Me and Tony are gonna give y'all a piece of our favorite scene, our thoughts, and the character we would like to see do more. Tony, give me your full-on thoughts. Now take your time on this. Do whatever you gotta do. Give me the nooks and crannies of the episode. Give me your thoughts, brother.
Well, my thoughts about the episode straight up, I gave this episode a perfect fucking 10, all right? That means the episode was perfect. And now, does that mean it was flawless? No. There's problems with anything in life. And I think that even if you look at people who say, oh, they played the perfect basketball game or they won that game, there are coaches who will go back and watch the film and show you things as though they won the game that they could have done better. And I think that goes for any classic movie that is out. There's things you could have done better. Star Wars, anything. There's things that could have been done better. You know, that's just the way it is. Yes, there are flaws here, but it is so good. Why are you even looking for them? Why do you care about them? That's like saying Pamela Anderson's in her prime is in your bed and you're like, you got to get out because you got a pimple on your ass. All right? That's some bullshit. And you know you ain't throwing it out. So people who are nitpicking it like that, to me, come on, man. Really? It's just a little too much. I like to call shit out, and I'll tell you when shit is wrong. And when shit is wrong, I'm quick to say when it's wrong. But when it's right, man. Just see what it is and don't try to just look for something to be wrong. That being said, when you come to the Tyrion and Dany and all that shit that happened in Marine, I loved it. I loved all the special effects that was put out there. The dragons looked amazing. The guys were just idiots. As I said in my review, how stupid can you be? You're going to say this shit to this chick's face. You know this bro got 3, not 1, not 3 fucking dragons, bro. 3. And I don't care if you didn't know how big they gotten at the time. You got to assume. I mean, you're not a dumb man how big they could have been. And they're still dragons. And you just see the difference of a dragon, which gets the power that Dany has with 3 dragons. She can take out a whole fleet by herself. She with no help, with no nothing, you know, easily. And it no sweat off her back. Nothing, no danger around it. She did it quick, fast, just like that. You know what I mean? So really shows the power of Dany in that scene, and it's going to be really hard to, because when you compare it to, like, look at all the people that were down there that fought with Jon, that fought with all these people that did everything like that. You know, you could have all that army, you could put that army, you could take the people in King's Landing, you could put them all together, put them on the battlefield, and they face Dany, and it's over. They will all die. Period. And you just see that. That's what those dragons are. And you know, it's like having an aircraft at that time that is able to go on the ground and turn into a tank. You know what I mean? That's basically what the fuck she has when she has dragons. A military weapon we haven't even created yet in this world today. Something that can be that versatile. Besides that, going into the Jon and moving over to the Jon scene and the Battle of the Bastards. Now, I know a lot of people have had a lot of problems with Sansa. Sansa held back information from Jon. They say that she could have prevented a lot of death and she should have told Jon the information. But quite possibly it is correct that people can be right on that. But we've seen what happened when she did offer Jon information. Jon didn't take the information. In fact, he walked right into a trap. And if she would have exposed how many troops she had at that particular time, it's quite possible when she went to the meeting with Ramsey Bolton, Jon would have blabbed how many troops they have, and Ramsey would have just hit his ass inside of Winterfell and just barricaded the doors and just chilled up in there and never would have came out to the battlefield. So her holding them back till the end, we also have to remember, she sent a letter out. We did not see her receive a letter or anything like that. So we don't know if she knew that they were coming at that time or they just happened to show up and she rode in with them. I know it seems like she knew and she went out to go meet them and then brought them back, but that may not be the case. She may have sent the letter out. I don't know if they're going to come. I asked for help. Who knows? And then they came. And, you know, and she went on the battlefield at the time they came. That would be more on Peter Baelish than Sansa. But as for the battle itself, this was a battle of epic proportions, a battle that made me feel, as I said, Saving Private Ryan of medieval times. It really made you feel like you were in the battle. It really made you feel like you were in there with Jon and you were taking the blows and everything else and going through it. Jon almost dies a couple of times, the suffocation, this everything, the horror of the battles, the piles up of the bodies and everything. And it may have been a little unrealistic and everything else, but so what? That's what I'm saying. You know, yes, probably it's unrealistic that bodies would get piled up like that at this day and age and this time with that type of weaponry. But so what? Can't we just appreciate it for what it is? Can we just say it's all right and just go with it, man? It is a show. It's not a biography here. It's not a documentary or something. It's a show. It doesn't have to be 100% realistic. There's magic in this motherfucker sometimes. Now, I do understand that some plot points are missing, and those I'll always hold their feet to the fire for. But some shit, man, you got to just let go. The battle was phenomenal, and then the ass-kicking of Ramsey Bolton was epic, almost as epic as the one for The Wire. I put that down. I made a video to compare the two. You can check that out. Almost as epic as that. Just a great ass whooping. And yes, Sansa did say something to Jon Snow or to Ramsey, like about the dogs. And people say, how does she know about the dogs? But we don't know how long Ramsey was in that cell. We don't know if she discussed with Jon what she was going to do to him. Maybe Jon told her, and before she said, she said, I hate that motherfucker. I want to kill him. And she's like, maybe she said I should feed him to his dogs. And Jon said, oh, they ain't eating a couple of days. And then, and then they forgot about it. And then later, she's like, where is this motherfucker? I'm going to do it. And then that's why they put his ass over there. You know what I mean? Or something like that. So I just think that it's a great episode. I love the episode. I got nothing bad to say about it. And I think people should just be happy that we have this show, because when this shit is over, man, you're going to wish that this motherfucker was on.
Yeah, this here was of epic proportions. I'm going to cry when the show goes off the air, man. When this show is gone, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I like Walking Dead. I like Orange is the New Black. I like Flash. I like all these little shows out here now that they're putting on cable television. But there ain't nothing like Game of Thrones. There ain't no show that I know the family inside and out. There ain't no show that I know their great-grandfather's grandfather. There ain't no show where I know every intricate plot and detail because I read the book. Ain't no such thing. If you show me another show with a book that's got the play-by-play manual on it, okay? I feel like I'm part of the team watching this show. But before I get on a tangent, I don't need to tell you how much I love it. Y'all know how much y'all love it. Let's get back to Marine. I thought I was watching a movie, Tony. I thought that this episode was something that will never be done again. The only way you get an episode like this is if you got the same director, and shout out to the director. Thank God they used the same director. You will never see something of this epic proportion again. Marine, let me break down what I loved about it. Dany was smug as usual, but I loved what her and y'all were doing. You could see that this is some sort of team brewing. You can see that this season the showrunners are trying to put females in a power position, and they were just clicking. I never thought I'd see Yara and Dany making a team together, but it just looked right.
And she was showing a lot of ass. Showing a lot of ass this episode, Yara was. They kept putting that camera behind her, and I don't mind, baby. I don't mind.
Oh, man. People were making fun of me because I was looking at her heels first. But the heels is what made the ass look good, ladies and gentlemen. If a woman's got good heels, then the ass is going to be right. But let's get back to the episode. When Drogon came out, he looked like a bareback pterodactyl, ladies and gentlemen. He looked like a dinosaur out this mug. I mean, how big has this guy grown, man? Has he been eating his Wheaties, Tony? Yeah,
listen, he's doing his thing. I don't know what he's eating out there on the Dothraki plain, but this motherfucker ain't missing a meal at all in no time soon.
At all. The buffet table stays open when Drogon's in the building, ladies and gentlemen. This was some serious ish. And Rhaegal, Viserion, I don't know. We're gonna come back to that, but they look like they need a rider, don't they?
They need to, definitely. I would have to think that at some point we're gonna get 2 more dragon riders on them. There's no sense not to. And I definitely think that not all of these dragons will survive. So, there's no doubt that we're gonna get a dragon rider going on, 2 of them, without a doubt. Take it to the bank.
So sweet, so sweet. And then this is the thing I don't understand. The Masters just coming up in Marine, knowing Dany got dragons. What were they thinking? It's just tomfoolery. We'll get back to them. But the whole Marine thing, it was about maybe a 10-minute clip. I felt like they spent damn near half the episode in Marine, and I didn't mind. It was a great situation. I loved everything about it. We resolved a lot of things. I thought the Siege of Marine was going to take longer than a couple of episodes. It didn't. Off to the north, the real north, the chefs up north, my main man John, former Lord Commander, taking back his ancestral home. This was serious business, ladies and gentlemen. We got little Lyanna Mormont chilling in the cut, giving Ramsey the stink eye. Ramsey talking shit. Ramsey thinking he's boss. Ramsey not trying to see John in swordplay. And everything came up to Sansa just saying, "You're going to die. We'll see you in the morning." She rode off like a boss. They started the battle, got 1-1 going. You had Davos not trying to throw arrows at his men, and Ramsey throwing arrows and didn't even care. Did you catch that shit? Did you catch Ramsey throwing arrows at his own men?
Yeah, and this is, at first we see the contrast, and also this is, all right, so if people do want to say something bad about the episode, you can say this exactly is a bad scene about the episode that, it was touched on a couple of times that, Ramsey's men would turn on him if they seen the real Starks. And at no point did we see Ramsey's men turn on him. They should have paid that off. They touched on it a couple of times, and there was no payoff for that. So it really wasn't. But yeah, as you can see, Davos was not willing to fire those arrows to kill his own men, and Ramsey just said, "Fuck it, pin cushions for everybody," and that's it.
I don't know if that helped John or not, but he could have died in that shit. I'm serious when I say the showrunners got me, man. I thought he died about 3 times.
When you see John in the battle, straight up, these guys are fighting, and he helps the one guy, he kills the one guy, and then after he kills the one guy, he kills the guy he just helped, and that's what it is. And you don't know who the fuck is who. You're just killing anyone who gets close to you because you don't know who the fuck is on your side.
Yeah, and I could have sworn that John killed one of his dudes one of those times.
Yeah.
One of the dudes was fighting a Bolton bannerman. And then John killed the Bolton dude, and then he killed the dude that was fighting him.
Yeah, man.
So, excellent scenery. They did it in one shot they gave us a one-shot clip on John fighting for about 5 whole minutes. And ladies and gentlemen, 5 whole minutes in a battle scene feels like an hour. That shit was long. It was strong. It was everything we would want in a battle scene. You had the horses running off with headless horsemen. You had Wun WUn kicking a horse away. You had everything that you see in a battle. You saw the bodies piling up, just piling up like it was World War II. You saw medieval cavalry. You saw gallantry. You saw knights in shining armor fighting each other like the olden days, man.
Yeah, and listen, it's another people want to say something wrong. I could say something wrong. Wun WUn should have had a weapon, all right? They should have gave the fucker a log. They should have gave him something. He shouldn't went up there with his bare ass hands. They should have made a little, give the man something. You know what I mean? They should have gave him something. They gave him something to fight the whites with when he was fighting them. They gave him a log to fight them. So why not give the motherfucker a tree to fight these dudes?
I don't know. Maybe they thought it would be unfair to give Wun WUn this, and they would beat the Bolton army too easily. Because if they would have gave Wun WUn a log, he would have cleared that shield wall in 2 motherfucking seconds.
But he probably, but that shield wall was thick. It was like 3-4 rows back. You know what I mean? So it still would have been a difficult situation. But they could have let him throw a boulder, a rock, like Donkey Kong. That motherfucker do something. You just can't be up in there going with hands with people. I don't want to see Wun WUn doing the Ali shuffle at the time, going hands with people. I need to see him doing something else. I would have rather seen him with a log or something up in his mitts.
They had Wun WUn out there playing bareback, playing with his hands the whole time, just giving uppercuts to everything. I mean, oh man. And
yeah.
We wanted Ghost out there. How hard do we want Ghost, bro?
You heard me in the pregame show how hard I want to fucking Ghost out there. But I could understand. Listen, I said I would have loved to see Ghost, but I can't take away from the episode. It didn't take away from the episode that he wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? That would have been like sprinkles. You know what I mean? And I already had the ice cream and the whipped cream and the cherry. Now, that would have just been little sprinkles on top, but I didn't need it. But I would have loved to see it.
They would have spoiled us. If they would have gave us Ghost or Wun WUn would have logged, we would have got a motherfucking cavity out here. How much they spoiled us, man.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I think, maybe they saving that. We got a big episode coming up, so maybe they saving it for a reason.
Maybe they saved it, and we will get to the next episode later in this talk that me and Tony are having. Let me wrap up my thoughts on this. Everything about this Battle of the Bastards was superb. I already said on Don Willie's show, I gave it an 11 out of 10. 11 out of 10. I never gave an episode more than a 9 in my life, ladies and gentlemen. So I gave it more than a perfect score. Let me wrap up Winterfell. When Wun WUn and Tormund and Jon were running up the hill looking like some boss dudes running to Winterfell and catching Ramsey in his despicable nature. He wanted to change it up when they got to Winterfell, talk about, oh, well, let's do one-on-one combat now, and bust out his arrow, and Jon just randomly picked up that Mormont shield and just used the joke like Captain America, cuz.
Yeah, man. Yes, and his shield work was fine. It just shows you, Ramsey the bitch in you, son. You know what I mean? At that time, he had a chance to go hands with the dude, and he wasn't trying to go hands at all. And I hated the fact they gave him the kill on the giant. I mean, I hated that fact that, that he was able to take him out. Should not have been Ramsey to take him out. I hate that shit.
Should not have been. And once Jon wrapped him up, yoked him up, gave him the 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 adios punches, we saw the Stark flag rising, Tony. That jump made me stand up, want me to salute that motherfucker, man. What'd you think of the Stark banner?
Yeah, I loved it. And I was gonna use that picture as my screenshot for my video I did. That's how much I liked it. That would have been the picture, but I didn't want to spoil stuff and people criticized me in the past. So I said, let me just give them something else.
Golly, they even had the wind flapping when the Stark banners went up. The bolton banners burned, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and this will be the first time when you see this episode, you will see the Stark Wolf back on Winterfell for a very long, since Theon took it over. Because ever since then, you had it burning, then you went right to the Boltons. So finally, in the opening credits, we will see when they show Winterfell, the Stark symbol back on top of it.
Oh, man, so sweet, so sweet. What a payoff. Payoffs all around. And then we got Sansa down in the dungeons of Winterfell, taking care of Ramsey. Dude, did you catch her do a double take when the dog bit his face? She went out and went back in. Did you catch it, Tony?
Oh yeah. Listen, when you torch this chick, at the stage she was, a mental condition. This is something that you need to see a monster like this die, because these are the people like the boogeymen. Even if you heard they died, you really need to see it for yourself, and that's what she needed to see. She needed to see that fucker is dead for real, and she needed to see it, and it made her feel good. I like the little smiles she gave. I think they said inside the episode they made her do that take like 12 times to get that smile right. So yeah, she did a great job doing that.
Oh, and she looked like she was on the runway of Paris when she walked away. She looked so sweet walking away. Oh, the smile, the hips, the lips. Sansa is bae, ladies and gentlemen. Looking like the Queen of the North. God!
No doubt. And we have a potential reason for people to go down inside the crypts. We have Jon saying that he's going to bury Rickon in the crypt. So if they do bury Rickon in the crypt, that would give Jon a reason to go down there. Maybe Bran made it back. I don't know if he'll make it back to Winterfell or something. He would say, where's my brother? Let's go down there. Or maybe for a ceremony, they go down there. And then maybe in Lyanna's crypts when LittleFinger is there or something like that, and he says something while they're going talking to Rickon or something, they remove Lyanna's stone and take a look and see exactly what's inside there.
Oh, is it the armor? Is it the harp? Is it the flute? Is it the instrument? What is in Lyanna Stark's grave, Tony? Can we get a prediction?
It's the harp, Rhaegar's harp. If it had to be anything, especially from the books, I had to pick one thing, and I'm going to say one thing. It's Rhaegar's harp. Jon Snow's armor is on Victorian Greyjoy's ass right now. So I'm going to say that it's 100% that in that crypt of Winterfell that it's the harp of Rhaegar.
That is a mystery that could be left unsolved. It could be a mystery that they do. I would just like to see Lyanna Stark's grave opened. I'd like to see whatever is down there. It could be a tunnel to the pits of hell for all we know. I just need to get a peek in there. And when Jon said bury him down there with my father, damn, I got the feels. I got so many feels on this episode, I couldn't control myself. That joke had me feeling like the Hodor episode when just everything was right. Everything was right. It was just pitch perfect from top to bottom. And in the season, in the show, Eddard Stark's bones made it back to Winterfell. Lady Catelyn got them back in Renly's camp on the show. When LittleFinger brought it back to her. In the books, that hasn't been resolved, has it? Not at all.
Say it again. I was looking at the chat for a second.
On the show, Eddard Stark's bones have been brought back, but in the books, it hasn't.
No, it's not. The bones are missing. They're out there still.
Yeah. So this was dope all around. We broke that down perfectly. Tony, give me your favorite scene of the episode.
Whew, favorite scene. That's crazy. That's that favorite scene of the episode. That's a tough question for one scene, just to say that one particular scene was my favorite of them all. I mean, the satisfaction of Ramsay Bolton getting killed, it was very good. It was very pleasing. But the initial Jon Snow assault on the people when he first fell off the horse and they came, that full assault, if I can use that as a scene, like, I'd take that motherfucker right there. That was just, he just knocks the guy off the horse with the first blow. The other guy comes about to take him out from behind. A horse just charges into him, and he takes out another guy, takes out two guys, and people, it's just so, this shows you that you're not in control when you're in a battle like that. It's just a random luckiness to survive. I mean, you have a lot to do with it, and you're doing a lot of things to survive, but a lot of it is random. Anything could happen. You could be trampled. You could be this. If you're not looking. John could have died 1,000 times, 1,000 different ways. You know what I mean? But he just happened he didn't. So that would be my favorite scene of it all.
Yep, that is a sweet one. That is a sweet one. And if I didn't pick this one right here, that would be my second. There's so many scenes I could pick. I'm going to be real simple. I could go off detailed. I could go off tangents. I could go off some cerebral shit. But I'm going to go real simple and laid back. I'm going to go with the Stark Wolf banner put back in Winterfell. That got me all the feels that I needed. That was the shiznai right there. You just had the joint flapping. You heard the wind falling off of that joint. Then the bolton joints getting dropped beforehand. It just felt right, man.
Yeah, like I said, I was going to use it as my for my thumbnail for my video. That's how much I liked it, seeing that up there. You know what I mean? But I just thought that the blood and guts, and when I think about, when you look at that battle, a lot of different aspects of that battle come out when people see it and stuff like that. But I tell you what that battle really was. If you look at that battle was Rambo, the last Rambo that Sylvester Stallone directed. If you look at the way he did blood in that, which I think was great. I love that movie. I really do. Not a great movie. It's a good, entertaining movie. It's not great like, a 5-star movie. To me, I loved it to watch. It's very entertaining. The blood and the guts in that Rambo movie, the way it was performed is exactly the way it was performed and put down on special effects for this.
Exactly. Well, we're going to go to the surprise part of the episode. This is when I asked Tony, what are your future predictions for this particular character? I would like to ask you about Jon, but I'm going to keep this sweet. I'm going to ask you, what is Danny's future prediction, my brother?
Well, it all depends what goes down with this Dario situation when it goes down there. That has to be resolved some way, and it all depends if they're going to show Victorion next episode, which I do think they will show Victorion next episode. I think he'll be in the armor next episode, most likely. You'll see him in the armor. And I think that is quite possible he could have the horn. I don't see no reason for him not to have the horn. It really makes no sense if he doesn't have it. So I think it's quite possible he could still have the horn. So Danny's story, I think, revolves around other people more than herself. So, is Dario the Harpy like it was leaked earlier from the beginning of the season? Is he going to grab Danny up and then put a knife to her neck and then carry her off into the thing? is that going to happen? That's what the leak was. Since that was leaked out there early, I'm always leading towards that. A lot of these leaks have already come true this year. Most of them have come true this year in one way or another. So since that was the leak, I'm going to have to really go towards that. That's what I think is probably going to happen. But as I said, it really depends on other people. I would like to see her maybe sailing towards Westeros, and then she'll get there in the beginning of next year. But it all depends what's going on with this Harpy situation. It's just not resolved yet.
Yeah, that perfectly agreement. That Harpy situation is just, I mean, before I say my future predictions, this Harpy situation is just, I think we'll talk about this later in this episode. I think this Harpy situation got resolved pretty much. I mean, I was with James Bushell when I thought that Dario was the Harpy, and my initial thoughts were Varys. What did you think, Tony? Who do you think is the Harpy after this episode now?
I don't know. There's nothing that happened in this episode to sway you one way or the other. To me, who the Harpy would be. It really, I mean, in the books, I think it's more likely a different character than it is right now. I think it's a more interesting story in the books than they made it out to be here. I don't really think it matters too much. The only person that makes sense for it to matter is Dario. If it's going to be somebody, and if it's going to be someone, and they're going to make a big deal of it, it has to be someone that's still there, right? So it makes no sense for it to be Varys, because, all right, Varys is the Harpy. He's gone. What does that resolve? Nothing. So if it is going to be resolved, and it's going to be someone that's still around. The only person that it could be it's not fucking Grey Worm, it's not Melisandre, they ain't got no power like that and no juice like that. You see how the slavers feel about them. The only one it could be is Dario, if it's going to be anyone.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure she has to be betrayed. They have to do the betrayal at some point for love, and I think it's going to be Dario, so it would fit perfectly.
Yeah, I really thought it could have been his dog, and that would have been better. But they killed his ass off quick.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to say my future prediction, it would be easy for me to go with Sansa because I love Sansa, but I'm going to go with Jon. I think that his future lies outside of Winterfell, ladies and gentlemen. I do not believe he's going to stay around and be with Sansa. That would just be too mundane and too boring for Jon. What is he going to be? Her personal bodyguard or something? What is he going to be? What is he going to stay around and play in his old room? What is he going to do? He's got to go on another mission. That's what heroes do. Heroes go and play. They go and sword fight. They go and do their thing. They go and fight and make themselves legends. Jon's got to go somewhere. Is he going to go to the Quiet Isles? Is he going to go far across the Narrow Sea? Is he going to go to the Riverlands? We don't know. But Jon's place is outside of Winterfell. What do you think on that, Tony?
Well, it's interesting with Jon. Obviously he has a hero arc, and he's performing it right now. He's on top of the world. He's going to do his thing. But in order for Jon's story, for me, for it to go forward and for it to make any sense, like they're saying, this break the internet type moment or anything like that. If he gets into beef with Sansa, somehow is betrayed by Sansa, has to flee Winterfell himself or something like that, Sansa, that would be crazy, and that would be great. You know what I mean? I would love to see that twist with Jon. But just to say where he's going to be, it's next episode. He's going to be in Winterfell. The wall's going to fall at the end of this episode. A partial piece of the wall will fall, and I think he'll still be at Winterfell. I don't know if he's going to be at the wall when it falls. I don't think so. I think he'll be there. I think he'll hear it from there. But I think his story lies in Winterfell. I think we're going to hopefully get the crypts, get the Tower of Joy to finish that up, and get the crypts right there and just wrap up his whole paternity.
Man, if that wall falls, Jon's not going anywhere, obviously. We haven't got the setup yet for the wall to fall in the show. If it does, I'm hoping next episode, I hope they wrap this up. They give us some super cliffhangers. Last season's cliffhangers was off the wall. That was off the charts. I couldn't believe they just gave us like 10 cliffhangers. So if they drop the wall next episode, Jon's sword belongs at Winterfell, and those are facts. He's not going anywhere. So
yeah, I think if it's been You could see it happen in the war form. We got the mark on Bran's arm. We've seen the Night's King do the Jack's punch to the floor and knock down everything. That's all it's going to take. It doesn't take anything more than that. You're going to see, he can just chase Bran past the wall. Once Bran goes through the wall, he'll do the Jack's punch on the floor, and then the wall's coming down.
Yeah, and we will get to the Night King later in the episode. I got a doozy of a question on that subject, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned. This is the Q&A with Tony Teflon, Mo G, King of the North, Tony Teflon TV. Let's get this popping, folks. First question of the night. Who are the other 2 dragon riders, Tony?
It's Tyrion and Jon Snow, but if one's going to be taken over, then it's going to be Victorion to take over the one dragon. But it's Tyrion, it's Jon Snow, are the other 2 dragon riders, and I think Victorion will get control of one of them.
Oh, didn't them dragons look like they needed a bareback seat up there? They needed somebody to guide them, folks. They needed somebody throwing projectiles from their backs. They needed somebody up top with their big brother Drogon. It just looked right. It looked so right. I can't wait to see Jon up there. I can't wait to see Tyrion up there. I hope Tyrion's the first one. He's the one who let him out. He should be the one to get a ride.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
My bad, bro. Go ahead.
Nah, do your thing.
Let's drop it off. Let's move on unless you got anything to ride with that.
No, I'm good on that.
Let's go to a question from IC Spots. Did Jon kill one of his own with friendly fire during the chaos, or was I tripping?
No, he definitely did. He definitely did. Without a doubt.
This is what battles are about, folks.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Look at Pat Tillman. Look what happened to him. The guy left his NFL career, Arizona Cardinals, behind to go join the war that we should have never been in, because of bullshit, and loses his life. And then they tried to cover it up because it was his own people that killed him. And that's what happens, man. People start shooting, people shit their pants, and people shoot, man. That's what happens, man. These ain't like, everyone ain't that courageous. People are there for different reasons when they go to the army, for schooling, because they can't get a job. They're not there because they want to be warriors like back then. They don't dream of that. Certain people do, but most people are there to get through it, to learn a career, to go somewhere else. So when they get put in these situations, these aren't the toughest guys in the world. You know what I mean? You put them with their back against the wall and the bullets start flying, they shooting back, they shooting at anything. And sometimes it happens, you kill your co-workers and your friends at the time, and it happens like that. And in a war like that, in the fog of war, it's every man for himself, man. That's it. You got to do what you got to do. You can't risk it.
Yep, those bitch-made dudes that can't hold their shit. They just fumble and tumble when they get in the line of fire. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go to the next question. I think this is a doozy. Get your thinking caps on. Tony Teflon, did Sansa hope that Rickon would die to solidify her claim?
I don't know if she hoped that he would die, but she knew that he was going to die. So it's no hoping. It's a done deal. She knows that. So she don't really need to hope it. It's like she told Jon, Rickon's dead. That's it. He's dead. There's no saving him. And she broke it down, plain and simple, why he has to be dead. And that's it. She don't have to hope it. It's a done deal.
This was so serious the way Sansa broke this down. Sansa said, forget about him, Jon. He's a goner. Can you see a sister talk about a brother like this, though, man? This is the one thing I kind of did. She did the right thing, though, but I just didn't like it. It wasn't Stark-like. It reminded me of something Cersei would do. Damn, Sansa's learning, isn't she?
It's just, when you're faced in that point-blank situation, this is life or death already, right? Now, this is her brother. I'm sure she loves her brother, but, from the time she spent with Rickon, he was a baby, and I don't think she's as attached to him as she would be Arya, or as attached to him as she would be someone other of Rob or someone else. You know what I mean? He's the baby. She had a couple of years with him, and she was gone. So, maybe it's like that, and she's hardened. She's seen a lot, already. And a lot's happened to her, and she's seen a lot. So she just, at this particular time, there's no fairy tale, and that's the way she's looking at shit. Listen, there's no time to even think about a fairy tale ending. He's dead. We know it. Let's move on, and let's try to avenge him because he's gonna die, and let's just keep it moving. And that's what it is. And that's what sometimes you need, straight thinking like that. You can't be all emotional in situations like that, as Jon was. Sometimes you got to just be straight on.
Yep, it is what it is. In my opinion, Sansa did the right thing. It was a smart move. She had to let Jon know, do not worry about Rickon. He's already a goner. He's been with Ramsay for a long time. He was there 4 or 5 episodes, ladies and gentlemen. He was down in the dungeons. He was a goner the minute Umber brought him. So Sansa was being smart. And look what happened. Jon almost fell into the trap, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. He did fall into the trap. There's no almost about it. He was in the trap. Listen, as I told people, this is the same. They're giving Jon Snow everything that would have happened to Stannis. And as you've seen, this is what happened to Stannis. Stannis was in the exact same position that Jon was in. Stannis drew his sword just like Jon drew his sword. But instead, Stannis didn't have those men in his cavalry to come save him like Jon did. And that's the only difference. You know what I mean? He had the cavalry. Davos was smart enough to send them after him. You know what I mean? If Davos didn't send him, Jon's a dead man.
Yeah, that was sweet. We could talk about this subject for a while. I'm not going to hold this up because it was the right thing. It was what it is. Let me move on to the next question, folks. This is a good one from Dish Murphy. Are the lands and titles that belong to the treasonous Umbers, Boltons, Karstarks gonna be given to the Wildlings?
There's no doubt about it. I was even thinking that maybe the Dreadfort would go to Tormund Giantsbane. I always say his name wrong. I mess his name up every time in every video I do. I reverse it every time. But yeah, I think that he probably get the Dreadfort without a doubt. I think he was going to get that. The rest will definitely be divvied up because we know that in the books that the Magnar married the Karstark girl, and he was as you would see now, he's going to get that. So the Karstark's house is gone and all that. So,
oh man, I could just imagine Tormund going to the Dreadfort, just singing the tune, "Our house, da 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 da, our house." I could just see the Dreadfort popping off, folks.
It's House Giantsbane of the Dreadfort.
House Giantsbane, and this is how houses start, folks. This is how houses start back in medieval days. A lesser lord will take a bigger lord's house because that bigger lord was a treasonous cunt. And if the bigger lord lost the shit, that's it.
Well, you've seen it happen already. The Davos, that's how he got it, right? That's how he got all his stuff, is because Stannis gave it to him. And when you serve, you get it. Now they're all going to get stuff. There's no doubt about it.
Exactly. All right. Let's go to another doozy. Will Littlefinger tell Sansa to marry Sweet Robin or himself?
Man, he's going to tell him to marry himself, and I think that's quite possible that pigeon or whatever you see flying overhead, if it's not a white raven crow indicating that winter is here, which we already seen one sent already a long time ago, so I don't know if they're going to do it again, but if that's the bird of Sweet Robin, it's quite possible that he will say to Sansa to marry me, Sansa, right then at that particular time. And if Sansa agreed to marry him and say we have to do it at the Eyrie or something like that, and then they go back to the Eyrie for the marriage, and then Sansa switches a script on him and say, I'm already engaged. Here's my husband sitting right here. And Sweet Robin comes out, and Littlefinger goes right through the moon door. And that's because once Sansa says that she pushed his mom through the moon door, Littlefinger's out. So all she has to say is that. And once they get back to the Eyrie, and they're all there in front, and Littlefinger's there with Robin, and Sansa's there, that's all she has to say, and she will. And he's going through the moon door.
Oh, man, I can so see Sweet Robin going through the moon door. That's got to be numero uno plan 1 for Littlefinger, that treacherous mother effer. I mean, Sweet Robin wanted to save his cousin. He was like, yo, she's my cousin. I'm going to go save her. You know what I mean? He's like a kid, but, you know, he had the right morals of the situation. He wanted to go help Sansa, and they didn't even show Sweet Robin. I don't get that. They showed Baelish smiling off at the top of the hill, but they didn't even show Sweet Robin, and it was his idea. Really? It wasn't his idea, but he was the one who gave the go-ahead.
No, it's not that bad. Listen, you'll see. Everyone will see what happens with this situation with Sweet Robin. It's not. It's Littlefinger is not winning. You have to get rid of these characters. You know what I mean? Certain characters got to go. You're gonna have one guy next season. That's gonna be Euron. There's gonna be the problem. If Cersei is still around after this season and everything else, you will have those two situations to deal with. Littlefinger's plot line is up. It's time to get to the White Walkers, and I would think that they're going to spend at least the last season 6 episodes on the White Walkers, so they're going to have to get rid of all these other beefs so everyone can join together and fight the White Walkers. I mean, obviously in the beginning, everyone's not going to be joined together, and then they're going to get to join together, and then they finish them off and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's interesting that we brought up the Euron situation, because this next question here from P. Pot says, when will Euron show up and what will Dany do when he does?
No, Euron showing up next episode. I don't know what's going to happen, where he's going to be. I don't know if he's showing up there behind them. I don't think he really needs to. I mean, unless he's going to just be and blow a horn and take that dragon. He's really got to take that dragon, or he's got to take that horn and he's got to get some type of kraken up, you know. That would break the internet. If they have him go to Old Town, a big-ass kraken comes out the water and just starts ripping down ships, that'll break the internet. You know, but I think Euron's going to be in his armor. Without a doubt, they have to show that, and I think that he has to have some significance for coming in this season. It just can't be the same old thing that we have already seen from every other villain. He more evil. You know, we've seen Joffrey, he's evil, and then you got Ramsey, he's a little more evil. You know, what are you gonna do with him? Now he's more evil than that, and you know, he's got to have some type of magical. He's got to be a true threat for a certain reason. And the only thing that makes him that threat is that damn horn.
That horn, they didn't show us the horn of winter that Mance Raider had. They better show us that mother effing Dragonbinder horn, man. There's 2 horns in the Song of Ice and Fire, and we got to get one of these, man.
Well, we've seen one with Sam. They showed the Sam horn. We did see the one horn with Sam. So they have put horns in there. They didn't do anything with it. They just showed it, you know, and with the dragon glass. But they did show it. So it's a possibility that they would show it again. You know, they may not have brought it out, because if they would have brought it out with Euron at the King's Moot, and he said he had a horn that could take dragons, and they were going to do the whole Theon and Yara escape, then Yara would have went back and told Dany, he's got a horn that's going to take dragons. She told him about the big cock, so she would have spilled the beans on that. So maybe that's the reason why they didn't have him pull it out, because he didn't want her to spill the beans. Or maybe that's the reason why they'll justify not showing it yet. And maybe that's why we're still to get it.
Yeah, you're right. I do remember the Sam horn. They absolutely did nothing with it. They showed it to us. They hinted at it, but they didn't give us nothing. It was like a cock tease, man. I just didn't understand what was the point.
Yeah, as I said, these are plot points, loose ends that hopefully they tie up. You know what I mean? And hopefully they do that.
Yeah. Let's go on to the next one. What do you think Davos is doing with Mel after he gave her that serious look?
Well, he's doing the exact same thing. I'm going to do a video on my prediction video, and you'll see it in the prediction video when I do it. But I'll tell you right now here. But he's doing the exact same thing that he did before with Mel. He pleaded in front of Stannis last time, and to kill Mel. It didn't work. And now he's pleading again in front of Jon. Now, is he going to get the same results that he got with Stannis? He's putting Jon in a bad situation. You're going to ask him to kill someone who brought me back to life. That's a situation, that's a decision that, how could you even ask me to make? How can I make that? Yes, what she did was foul. She killed a little girl. She burnt him. But she did it at the will of the girl's parent. Both of them at the time.
And that's exactly what I said.
That doesn't, and she did it at the will of the person that she was serving as her king. And then when your king tells you to do something, you do it. So when you put those things in there like that, plus she brought him back to life, putting Jon in an unbelievable situation. Davos says right there, just a no-win situation Jon's going to be confronted with. But I don't think that. I think he's going to get almost the same result. She's not going to be executed right then at all.
Yeah, this seems like Melisandre's gonna wiggle her way out of this one and say that it was Stannis who made her do it. It was Stannis who said burn Shireen. It was Stannis who gave the last go-ahead. So what's Jon supposed to do? What is he gonna throw her in the dungeons?
No, I don't know if he's gonna. I don't think she's gonna get thrown in the dungeons. I think she's gonna be there. I think she'll be there until Arya comes and kills her, or someone's got to kill her on the low. I said when she dies. I said this before. She's obviously this is the chick I do believe is the Night's Queen, so she can't get burned. So she's got to get killed on the low, so her body doesn't get burned off. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be done, I think, in a sneaky way, and then that's when the Night's King could run up on her, bring her back in, and make her the Night's Queen or something like that. Or maybe she'll run off, scared to get killed like she did last time, and then she'll run into this motherfucker this time. And while she's on her horse, she'll try to flee. And then, boom, run right into the Night's King, and he'll just fucking put the finger or grab her up and put the finger right to her, and you'll see those eyes turn blue. And that'll be a wrap.
I see her being with the Night's King somehow. It's just so obvious now, man. Ever since watching your videos back in the day, it just sounded right, but it didn't feel right. But now it feels right, folks. Go check out Tony's videos on the Night's King, on the Night's Queen. He's broke it down like a G. You would think Tony and George R. Martin's got a motherfucking, they got the same brain on this one. It's serious, folks. Go check out Tony's video. Not playing.
Sure.
Not playing. He's got the Night's King broken down to a science. All right, let's go to the next one. Was Sansa right in not telling Jon about the Knights of the Vale? Tony?
So we went through this a little bit. As I said, there's arguments both ways that can be made both ways. So it's really how you feel or how you would deal with the situation. And I think that when people put themselves in the situation, how they feel, it's really not right. You got to look at her situation, the position that she was in, and what she went through, not the way you would react in her situation, because you were never in that situation. So you can't say how you would react. You can think how you would react. I tell people that all the time. There was dudes, I told back in the day when dudes was like, oh, I'll go to prison. I'm in there for the rest of my life. I don't know how these dudes just get in prison for the rest of their life. I'm like, yo, done. They're in there for the rest of their life. That's not the same person that went in. You're not the same person that goes in if you go to prison, if you were in there for 5. Right when you're in there, you're a different person. It's not you anymore. So this is what happened. So when you look at her situation, her fact that she was raped, she's been betrayed, she's watched her father's head get chopped off, she's been sold like cattle from this guy to that guy, she's getting pulled from this end, she's seen Eliza aunt get thrown from a moon door, she's been raped, she's in the books, she's not in the books in that situation, she's seen all this bad stuff that's happened to her, you know what I mean, and everything else. So you do all that together. It's hard for her to say, and she's a highborn chick. Her whole life she was told Jon's the bastard, her older brother, but he's still the bastard. And even though she's happy to see him and everything else, it's still, that's not Rob. You know what I mean? If it was Rob, believe you me, she would have said everything because she would have trusted Rob because that's her full-born brother, older brother. But that's not the way she looked at Jon at that particular time. So whether she's right or wrong, it's hard for me to say. I think that, I myself, I would hope that I would react differently in the situation. But if all those things happened to me, I could totally understand why she did what she did.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see how Jon takes the news. Because Jon's going to be like, why didn't you tell me about the Vale? I could have saved these dudes for later. I could have done this. I could have done that. We could have changed the whole battle plans. And Sansa's just going to throw her hands up. Yeah,
and then but the horses don't work under siege conditions. And Ramsey knows you got all the mounted men. He's going to go back and hide in the castle. And he's going to sit in there. They have to come out. That's the only way the mountain men, the cavalry is going to work is in a battle. So, and Jon don't listen. They didn't listen to him. So if she would have told him, he could have spilled the beans about everything. So maybe it was a good decision she held them back. The bottom line is they survived.
Yeah.
And it's like an airplane. Any landing's a good landing if you survive. They survived. So what she did worked. It was the right decision. Period. They survived.
Yeah, everything worked out right, folks. It had to work this way, in my opinion. Any other way might have caused complications. It might have had a delayed response from Jon. Jon might have done things differently that might have cost him the battle. We don't know. It just worked out right, and I'm going to say, let it be. Let it rest. Let's go on to the next one. What was the point of Rickon, Tony? Did he have a purpose?
Yeah, he had a purpose. His purpose, as they said, a shaggy dog. A shaggy dog story is a story that leads nowhere. So his purpose was to be a story that leads nowhere. It's just a plot that you thought that was going to lead somewhere that leaded nowhere. And in the books, I think it's going to be the same thing. I think people think that this guy is going to come back like he's going to be this big, ferocious guy, go-see guy riding on the back of Shaggy Dog. And, you have no proof that that's going to happen. It's quick that people are always quick to say that George R. R. Martin is not cliche. George R. R. Martin does not do fairy tales, but that's the biggest fairy tale of them all that everyone is hoping for. That Rickon's going to go off with these Stargosi people and get on the back of Shaggy Dog and come back, and all these guys are going to follow him, and he's going to retake Winterfell and marry Vale and just be the best. That usually isn't the way it happens. You know what I mean? So, no, I think Rickon's plot is exactly what it was, just to come back and get eliminated, and to give more reason for Jon to hate this guy and give him the rage and everything else he needed to do what he had to do. He knew what Ramsay Bolton was. He heard it, but he never experienced it. He never seen it. You know what I mean? And this was the only way that Jon could see it firsthand.
Yeah, everybody who knows, literature and from college and writing stories, that the Shaggy Dog story goes nowhere. We were all hyped on the unicorns, Shaggy Dog, The Last Hearth, Rickon, learning some ninja skills, doing something up there, and it just wasn't possible.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it. Just listen to everything you just said there. Shaggy Dog, unicorns. And come on, this is what people are asking for. Shaggy Dog to come back on a unicorn and just chill with My Little Pony and Winterfell. Don't happen, bruh. That's not the way it be. It just doesn't roll like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just hard for me to think that it would ever go down like that, or how people would even think it would go down like that.
Yeah. All right. Next point here. Do you remember the trailers, Tony? Do you remember how everyone thought two people were going to be flayed and sitting in front of Winterfell that would matter? It was nothing, bro.
About these trailers, too, I don't know. I got to go back and look. But I had said that picture was Wun WUn breaking into Winterfell. And everyone told me I was wrong, and it was Wun WUn breaking into the wall. Now I got to go back and see, because now we see he broke into both places. So what was it, that place? Was that in the trailer? I'm going to go back and see myself. But let me tell you, if that was Winterfell and I was right, you better erase your name from the comment section if you got at me, because I'm going to put it right up there. You got time. You got time. I'll tell you right now, because I'm going to put it all up. I'll put it all up there, because I got heard a lot of shit for that one. It ain't motherfucking Winterfell. That's a goddamn wall. Blah, blah, blah. And then he broke in the wall. Everyone was like, look, he was right. But now we see he did break into Winterfell. So quite possibly that could have been the picture. I got to go back and take a look.
Yeah, they tricked us. They got it. They flipped the script on us with those people that were supposed to be flayed. And we thought it was going to be Rickon and Osha. And, I mean, kudos to them. They kept that a secret.
We going to see, Don Willie. We going to see, Don Willie. We going to see about that. Listen, if I'm wrong on it, I'm wrong on it. My video, I promise you, it'll be everything at the end of the season of everything I got right and wrong. I will not spare any punches on it. Whatever I got wrong, it will be there. I'm not Nostradamus. I know it seems like it sometimes, but I'm not. So it happens. You know what I mean? This is the way it be. But we shall see. I don't know. It's quite possible I could have been right on that. It's quite possible I'm wrong. I got to take a look at it. I haven't gone back and looked at it yet, but it's a coinky dinky that he just happened to go through Winterfell too. You know what I was thinking too, Mo? What about that scene with the guy with the teeth, with the bad teeth around his neck? Did we see that yet?
Nope. That is one of the last pieces that we haven't been introduced to yet.
That with the bad teeth around his neck. What the fuck is that? You know, because that guy.
I think it's a wildling.
He's definitely a wildling. But I'm saying, what is it? You know what I'm saying? What the hell? What scene is that? What could that be? That I haven't even seen anyone with bones on their neck or anything like just a back in the day wildling scene possibly or something like that. Because I haven't seen like these modern day wildlings except for the Lord of Bones that they depicted them wearing animal bones and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And all these guys that were just in the battle, none of them had anything like that on. So it would just be weird just to have someone just pop up with a goddamn bear mouth on his neck. So I don't know if it may be a back in the day scene of a wildling attack.
Yeah, it could be. Well, let's move on to the next one. Let's get this one done. Are wildlings officially citizens of the realm?
You know, I don't know if they're officially citizens of the realm until the king makes a decree, but Sansa, as Queen of the North, will decree that they could be in the North, and they'll be, as long as she rules the North, they're good. And as you see, listen, if Daenerys is Aegon, and that's the way she is, and that's what people have to look at her as. She's Aegon. That's why everyone's like, oh, she's the Mad King. She's not the Mad King. She's Aegon, all right? And you see, Aegon did the same thing to everyone when he came down. You have a choice to make. You get down or lay down. And that's it. Just like she gave the Greyjoys a choice. Get down or lay down. And she's going to give Sansa the choice. She'll give everyone the choice. It's just who takes that and who don't. You know what I mean? And she's going to take that because Sansa's going to have the Vale in the north. And Dany's going to have down the King's Landing. Yara will have that. And as we see that, you know, we see the Dornish chicks are going to have Dorne.
Yeah, Sansa's so bae. She got this on lock. I can see her making all the wildlings bend the knee, let them resettle the gift, let them marinate in the gift, give Tormund House Giantsbane the dread fort, and just sprinkle it around. I mean, if Karstark loses his spot, take it.
It's gone. Karstark's spot is gone because it's gone in the books. You know what I mean? So that's how we know. He probably better. I would hope they would say the Dreadfort because of the show purposes. That's what they focused on. They have shown that before. So I would think they give him that in the show. But definitely in the books, it's gone because, you know, the Magnar is taking that over. So we know the Karstarks is gone on that. You know what I mean? Without a doubt. But, you know, listen, if Tormund likes those bears, like he claims, you know, I don't want him going that little chick, not saying that, but I'm sure there's some type of older lady there that he could get with, and maybe he just goes to Bear Island or something, gets down with them, and can have all the bear sex he wants.
Yeah, well, we are killing the hell out of the North with these questions. We gotta go to Marine, folks. There is a Targaryen up there, and she is doing her business. She is riding dragons now. So let's go back to Marine and Dany. Is she headed to Westeros at the start of next season, possibly at the end of the season this year?
Yeah, she's got to. I mean, listen, man, I'm going to tell you straight up. This is two things I don't want to see at the end of this season. I don't want to see Dany in the boat with dragons flying next to her, and she's heading there. I don't want it to end on that, and I don't want it to end on Dario grabbing Dany and pulling her in some tower, and then that's the last. That's the last we see of Dany of the season. That's just retarded. I don't want to say that word. That's just a terrible situation. You know, that's dumb. They should not do that. You know what I mean? Not at all. So I hope it doesn't go out like that. I hope they don't go down. It doesn't go down like that.
What is the catalyst? Is it that she's been waiting on boats, ships? She's got that now. Has she been waiting for the dragons to go up? What will be the show's catalyst to get this plane moving?
I just think when she gets there, it's how they're gonna play it. It may be, you know, uneventful. You know what I mean? It may play that Cersei is they're gonna play it like this, where I see it's gonna go down. So they're gonna have the wildfire underneath the set. Cersei's gonna go up in the set. She's gonna get found. They're gonna light the wildfire, but instead of blowing up the set, it's gonna blow up a lot more. Hopefully Cersei survives and everything else. Don't know if she will. It's probably going to roll like that. And then by the time Dany gets to Westeros, she's just going to walk into a burnt down fucking throne room. I'd rather see Dany take out Cersei and them. You know, I like to see that battle. I'd rather see Cersei going to burn and die. I want to see her burn by dragon fire, not wildfire.
Exactly. Well, let's move on to the next part of this. The slaves. Do you remember when they called Dany Misa?
Yes.
Season 1, Season 2. Did you see the spot when Jon was in the battle, when he was suffocating, climbing out, looked like he was about to die? One of the 4 parts that I thought Jon might get the axe. And he climbed out like a baby out the womb. Did you see the similarities the show writers did? That was a callback to the Misa scene, Tony.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it that it was, and you could see that in behind the scenes of the show that they said that Jon Snow, the Kid Harington, said that when Jon pulled himself out, he was reborn again. So that's obviously exactly what they were going for, the exact same shot and the same type of rebirth that was when Dany was born, and this was Jon's rebirth again. So Jon has died twice now.
Exactly. That was just so strange but powerful at the same time. To see all those bodies, all the wildlings around him. Tormund was in that circle. Davos was in that circle. Jon was looking around, didn't know what was happening, caught his breath. It just looked right. And it looked like zombies, didn't it? Looked like a whole bunch of herd of zombies around him.
Yeah, you know, and it's gonna be like that with Jon when it goes down. Listen, man, they've showed swords on fire in this show already. So I don't want to hear any fucking excuses for this Azor Ahai show. They best give it to me. You best give me this fucking flaming sword fucking right, man. For real, man. Don't play with me on that one. You know, you shortchanged me a lot on different things. Don't shortchange me on that.
Don't shortchange it. Well, Tony, we've come to the end of our program. I want to get your predictions for the last episode and next season, brother. What is going on?
Oh, predictions for next season. My prediction: pain. No, I would have to next season. Wow, I can't. That I would have to really dig. You're gonna have to get. I'm gonna have to hold back on that one for now. I don't know what's gonna happen all next season. But for the end of the season,
you're right. That's a loaded question. I meant predictions for episode 10. That's a loaded question. We don't know what the hell is happening next season. It's not even a whole season, ladies and gentlemen. It's 7 episodes, so we might get shortchanged. So that's a loaded one. My bad on that. Let's just do last episode next week. What the hell is going on? You can start with King's Landing. You can start with Marine. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see, as I said, we're going to see an end to the wildfires going up. It's going to burn the faith of the 7, the face melting, Tommen, all of them will be burnt up in the flame. That's how that scene, I think, is going to end. I think we're gonna, we're gonna see Varys go to Marine, possibly. I'm not Marine. We're gonna see Varys go to Dawn. I know we're gonna see. Lady Tyrell, see Olenna, the Queen of Thorns. That's what gives me some pause to that, because if you remember when we seen him when she was talking to Cersei, she was writing a letter at that particular time. It's quite possible she was writing that letter to Varys. So it could have been some situation going on like that. But I'm still going to say that I'm going to go with Dawn, that Varys is going to go to Dawn there. I'm going to stay with the leak, and I'm going to say that we're going to see the Dario is revealed as the Harpy, and I'm going to say that we're going to see the wall fall with Jack's punch to the floor by the Night's King. Will be the last thing that we see. And I think it's going to be just like the leak said it was. The leak said, I'm going with it, that everyone's going to, wherever you are in the world, everyone's going to turn around when it falls forever, and that's how it's going to go down.
Yeah, I'm going to make this short and sweet. I really want to see Arya in the Riverlands. I want to see the Lannister roast. I want to see Frey pies. I need to see Jaime Lannister bitch slap somebody next episode. I hope that goes down. I predicted that Arya would steal Frey's wife's face. I think that's going down. In King's Landing, we all know the wildfire is going off. I hope they do the Little Birds story. Y'all know about the Little Birds. Y'all know about Pycelle. I don't want to spoil it. This is a spoilery show. But some people ain't read the book, so I ain't going to do it. I hope they do all that nasty, freaky stuff in King's Landing because this is serious business. And the North, to me, the wall's coming down. Sansa's going to be Queen of the North, the Queen of Winter. Got her snugged up in her bear outfits, looking humble and cute. And Jon's going to be her sword. Jon's going to be the first sword of Winterfell, like the first sword of Bravos. Just going to be swinging and jingling all winter long, ladies and gentlemen. So,
and listen, I think we could get the death of LittleFinger. If they go back to the Vale, he's dead. They show the Vale again, and LittleFinger's there, he's dead. There's no doubt about it. You might get that. You're going to get the Melisandre Night's Queen. You're going to get that. You're going to get Arya Stark, maybe going to the phrase and doing something up in there. That's the only place it makes sense for her to show up at, unless somehow she shows up at Old Town. You got the Sam Old Town situation. They got a lot of spots to touch on to finish up. Jorah Mormont, I think, is going to show up in Old Town. Sam's going to run into him. I got a video on that, too. I think that a lot of my videos, as a couple of them already have been proven right this year, will be proven right. And I really look forward to seeing the resolution of the Tower of Joy. I just want this over with. It's like this R plus L thing. People still ask me questions about this. R plus L equals D, and I just want this over. I just want it over with, T. I really do. One thing this needs to be solved. Let's solve this. Let's just let's not. And I don't want no goddamn. It's a possibility, right? Pull the baby out. Show the dick of the baby. And show that there's nothing there but afterbirth, all right? Lift her ass up in the air if you have to. Flip her over. Cause I don't want to hear later on, you see, there's a toe right there. There's a toe, I'm telling you. I don't want to hear that shit after. I want this shit done. And it's over. And that's it, you know what I mean? So we can just move past it and just get over with this shit, man. That's what I hope it goes down.
Yeah, they have to end this. It's just been dragging too long. They gave us a little tidbit. They gave us a little crumb. They gave us a little snippet, and they haven't finished it. They have to complete this. I'm sure from the leaks they said episode 10, that's what it is. And I'm sure we're going to get it. So, Tony, if you ain't got nothing else to say, can I get your sign off, brother man?
I'd just like to say thank you for everyone who came to Mo's channel, you know what I mean, to watch. This is the second show, so thanks for supporting the cause, you know what I mean. Please subscribe to Mo's channel. If you don't know who I am, I'm Tony Teflon the Don. I'm on Teflon TV. You know what I do on my channel. I break motherfucking shit down. It's basically what I do is I investigate and then we debate. You know what? Maybe I will change my slogan to that because that's how the Don gets down. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. And that is A Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones, comic books, movies, whatever. And I try to do it in a way that it's like we chilling at a bar, drinking a beer. So if you into anything like that, please come check me, the Don Tony Teflon, on Teflon TV. Mo, thank you for having me. Peace and stay sexy.
Yep, and you know who it is. It's Moji, the King of the North. I like to break it down. I like to give y'all tits and bits. I like to give y'all everything I can because I aim to please. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. I'd like to thank my guest, Tony Teflon, Teflon TV. You know who he is. I don't got to say much. You know who this man is. Thank you for coming on the show. I'd like to thank the people in the chat. Y'all the best. I love y'all. We run in the same cliques. My team is the best. Our team is the best. So thank you and peace out.